About a year ago, I found a great book in the labyrinth of my mind. It was written in a strange language and was chock-full of phrases, projects, illustrations. It looked like a kind of bazaar that contained a bit of everything. Astronomy, robotics, social relations and other strange things. Looking at it more carefully, I realized that this book was divided into 12 chapters, and each chapter corresponded to a month of the year. I called it
In the beginning I was just a line. In the beginning I was just a line, in the hands of my Creator. He always made good use of it, and I trusted him. The freedom blew in my face. The freedom of not having defined edges. The freedom to rearrange the chaos. The freedom to destroy the order. Continuous exploration, search, discovery. Attempts, mistakes, solutions. But sometimes we felt alone and frustrated, without anything to hold on to, without any idea. I repeated to myself that I was just a line, in the hands of the Creator. One day a small miracle happened. Guided by intuition we found something. We came into contact with a new inspiration. We played like two children, with a heart full of joy. The magic gave us a new awareness, a new point of view, new forms, new colors, metamorphosis. We discovered the perfection and the power of simplicity. But unfortunately the creative vein ran out. For this reason, I was just a line, in the hands of the Creator until the day in which each of us went his own way. It was curiosity that gave me the courage to get out of the big blind. I was groping my way, afraid, frightened. The thrill of discovery, a mixture of fear and hope. I proceeded cautiously with my heart beating like a drum. An unbelievable world appeared before my eyes. Cycles of various kinds marked it out. I was dancing with happiness. I enjoyed discovering the rules of that world. I adjusted quickly, understood the gravity and found the balance. One day I had the unstoppable impulse to break something, but not out of malice, to experiment, to learn. He discovered me. My blood froze. He followed me for 10,000 steps. My mouth tasted of fear and terror. The drum in my chest was loud. My last life came to mind, frustrated and surrounded by evil entities that I stubbornly eluded, managing to escape from the great darkness. I tried to run away again and ran after another 10,000 steps. Tireless metal scum, devoid of any feeling. He took me. He imprisoned me and separated me from my drum in my chest. I was deprived of the possibility of feeling joy. Years of despair. Regrets followed. Years later, his metal began to rust. I took advantage of it. I took back my drum and ran away. I regained all the lost strength. I was ready for battle. He fell crumbled under my one powerful hammer blow. Now I keep doing what I came for early. To live.
sempre in una falsa prospettiva.
Perpetua falsa prospettiva.
Una perpetua falsa prospettiva.
I walk in an anonymous scenario and I think about who I am, who I will be, or who I could have been. Now I am a grandfather who drives his grandson to the discovery of a world that no longer belongs to him. Now I am a middle school professor who has a vocabulary in his hand and thinks that inside it is all that has been written and everything that will be written. Now I'm a father of a large family who has just lost their jobs. Now I am an uncle who offers his teenage nephew his first cigarette. Now I'm dying of cold and I'm a gas station that bets on the trend of fuel prices. Now I am a distant cousin who returns for the first time to the country where he was born. Now I am even a 100-year-old great-grandfather who is holding his nephew's daughter, born exactly a century after him. Now I'm a poor man who helps a needy person. Now I am a rich nobleman who, last of his lineage, gives all his possessions to charity and disappears in the oblivion of his history. Now I am myself again and I am facing a decision. Go ahead and dive into the future unknowns, or snuggle into warm and comfortable memories of the past.
I loved doing that little game. It was a kind of jingle, poor but effective. A friend of mine had taught me in Rome, and for me it had become a therapy. Strange things happened when I did this. I clearly remember once I imagined two fat men who were levitating in a cave, while on the other side a blue lizard was sticking out. I had a fever. I needed a kilo paracetamol. Someone tried in vain to get on a satellite with a rope, but a storm tore through the sky and tore apart reality. People flew away driven by a mysterious force. The clouds dropped heavy hydrogen bombs. I was a man who walked on a thread, in a precarious balance as always. Suddenly I turned into a supersonic butterfly. I flew away and saw the hand of a little girl closing a door. It was night and the fireflies were ready to dominate the world. The men had taken refuge in their trolley, frightened. A breeze, very light, disturbed the balance of my jingle, and I found myself again in front of this boring reality, always the same for 38 fucking years. Entropy is a measure of the randomness, or disorder, of a system.
Entropy. Entropy. Life is entropy. 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 Life is
Christmas is coming, and it's very hot in the other hemisphere. A year has passed since I started deciphering the Almanac. Honestly, I didn't understand many things, but I know that I'll understand them over time. Or maybe I'll find them in my dreams. Who knows? I am sure, however, that I understood two important things. The first is that in the age in which we live, where everyone tries to distinguish themselves by conforming, we must try to see with our ears, to listen with our noses, and to smell with our eyes. We must seek answers by talking to the trees, listening to the stones, and playing with fire. The second is the most important one. When the last glimpse of childhood falls in the adult, that adult turns into a monster, a corrupt, a fascist. That adult loses his soul, perhaps forever. The Almanac taught me this, to look for answers in the most unlikely places, trying to remain a child.